Folks, I'm Dave.
And I'm Sean. I finally have my mug.
And I don't have mine. There you go. That worked out well. We're Barstools and Bandtalk with a great, big, super fantastic interview. I give my friend Sean credit for this one here, set this one up. And again, I've been such a huge fan of this band, of this gentleman for a long, long, long time. Really looking forward to pick his brain a little bit. Sean, why don't you bring him in?
Yeah, started this about a week ago. Very, very cool. He responded to email almost instantaneously. His manager's been great. We did a little teaser there, a little teaser posting. We have Mr. Eric Martin from Mr. Big fame, and he is up now in Barstools and Bandtalk.
Oh, he's got a guitar and everything.
Sure.
Just writing that new hit.
There you go. It's a good thing we didn't catch you on tape there. That would have been would have let the cat out of the bag.
That would have been like, I was like, okay, how can I get like all those years where record companies, my record company at the time was Atlantic, and when To Be With You came out, every album after that, it was like, give me the next To Be With You. It's like, Indiana Jones, give me the whip, I'll give you the idol, and so that's what I'm writing. I'm writing the Russian version of To Be With You. Okay, ready? I am the one who wants to be with you. Hey!
There you go. Heard it here first. That's fantastic. So
Yeah, is it?
Yeah, I love it.
In the style of Rasputin.
That's right.
So
Mr. Rasputin. All right.
really want to thank you for being here, Eric, and you were super gracious with getting back to me really quickly on your email. I'd like to start. I've been seeing a lot of your posts. You've been busy, and I know things are a little different down there than they are up in Canada, but you've been out there doing some, I think you had a show or something in, was it Louisiana or something like that you said you had to go to? It was out there, but just tell everybody what you've been doing the last little bit.
Well, just like everybody else, the 2-year COVID crunch, man, in 2020, like around end of January, I got back from Europe. I was on tour with this rock opera metal, heavy metal entity called Avantasia, with, it's like a power metal band with 6 singers in it, all mainly European guys. Me and Jeff Tate are the only 2 Americans. Another, actually, Adrian Cowan. I forgot what part of the States she's from, but yeah, and we did that, and then I toured all over Europe doing acoustic shows, which I've been kind of doing lately. I should have wrote on my own coattails back in the 90s, in between Mr. Big, and I could have made so many friends. Anyway, and I've been doing that acoustic thing, and so when I came home, I remember I was taking a selfie for my kids, and I lifted up the camera. And literally, there was thousands of people in the airport, in the going through the little checkpoint, Charlie, show your passport thing, and usually there's only like about a couple hundred people getting off the airplane, and I come in and I went, what the hell's going on? I didn't read the paper, and when I got home, it was like lockdowns and masks and freak out, way too much politics on television. 2 years later, a little bit of a booze belly, eating way too many Fritos, and sitting on my ass. A couple times I did these COVID comfortable shows where I played before it started getting colder in 2020. Outside shows where they'd have people in like sort of, you guys have Big 5 lot, where you rent picnic gear or party gear. And they had these little plastic cages kind of, and people had either families or people spread apart 6 feet apart, a couple tables in each little pen. And I was on the stage like way too high, like 20 feet high, and playing acoustic guitar and singing for the people. It wasn't ideal, but it was something. And that's what I was doing. And then I did that a little bit in 2000, or in this year. but it was rough.
Hmm.
I mean, it was rough for me because I'm so used to when I play like 80 shows a year, 80, 90 shows a year, maybe more. But consistently and with Avantasia and I mean, Mr. Big hasn't really done anything since 2018, I think, but yeah, it was a rough time. And now things are opening up, not really slow. And I'm really slow. I mean, I became, sorry, this long answer here, but like in those 2 years, I've been a lazy ass mofo, you know? and just, you know, they go, oh, things are opening up. Yeah, but I'm not ready to get off the couch yet. No, I am. It's taken forever. I'm starting to book some tours coming up, you know. I just got off the phone. I'm going to name drop here actually, with Susan Tate, Jeff Tate's wife and manager. And Jeff and I, since the Avantasia thing, I mean, Queensryche, Mr. Big, we were never in the same building, you know,
No.
two ships that passed in the night in different oceans. But with this Avantasia connection and Jeff, him and I mean, we actually do duets and everything in this.
Oh,
Avantasia.
cool.
Yeah. And we become friends. And last month I went on a little really interesting tour called Backstage Pass Travel that Jeff and his wife put together, and his fans traveling with their favorite artists, mainly Jeff. I think I'm the only, it just started here, but I'm the second artist that got part of this adventure. But we traveled from Seattle, Washington to Idaho to Montana and played a bunch of shows in between, big shows and campfires. I mean, I swear to God, drinking. And, you know, I don't know if you guys know who Jeff Tate is.
Oh yeah.
Yes,
And
I
not just Queensryche. The man owns a vineyard.
Oh.
Anyway, so yeah, his drinking his wine and playing these shows and hanging out with the fans. That's what I did last month. So I am booking some shows. And this is a way too long of an answer because I just had some coffee. You talk now.
I'll
Jeez.
jab it up.
I'm not sure where to go from there.
I
I
know.
was kind of surprised to know the longevity of your career because, again, like most people, I guess they know your time from Mr. Big from about 88 on to, well, off and on till, well, when Pat passed away, unfortunately, in 2018. But you started this stuff in the mid 70s. Like you've been at this for a long time.
Yeah, a long time. I mean, late 70s, I was a whippersnapper playing bars and clubs and stuff. And I didn't get signed till I was 26, maybe 27, to Elektra Records. In 1983, I had an album called Sucker for a Pretty Face. It was a really, really good band. We were kind of the poor man's Night Ranger, you know? And yeah, it was John Nyman, who's a guitar player for Y&T and has been for many years. Troy Laketta on drums, who plays with Tesla. It was a really great rock and roll band. And we did touring mainly on the West Coast. And then we were fortunate to actually tour with Night Ranger and ZZ Top. And I did that for a few years, and then we got that was on Capitol Records, and we got dropped. Then like in the 80s, I did some solo stuff where I didn't know what I wanted to be. You know, I was like, am I a rocker or am I a soul man? You know, and it was like, and those were really cool records. And I was so fortunate to work with guys like Danny Korchmar and Greg Landani, who did Don Henley and the, you know, what was that album? Building the Perfect Beast, Boys of Summer.
Yep.
My band was kind of like that. And I had three female singers, saxophone. It was kind of a Hall & Oates maybe, you know, and I did that for years and years and years. And I was just talking about this the other day with a friend. My really dear friend, and I've known him for like 40 something years. His name is Mike Varney. And he, you know, if you know who this guy is, he's a producer, he's a record label president. He started this uh, record label called Shrapnel that brought like, new young gun guitar players. And he sold it like, I think through magazine subscriptions and online. And he made these guys kind of famous. I mean, Paul Gilbert,
Tony McAlpine, maybe Tony McAlpine.
Tony McAlpine, Greg Howe, this guy named Michael Lee Firkins. I mean, there's others, man. that's not my world, but he called me up out of the blue and said, hey, so what are you doing? I go, man, I just got dropped by my record company again. And they were looking at me I swear to God, guys, I can't believe I'm letting this cat out of the bag, but I didn't know what I was going to do. I'm a rocker, but I'm also an R&B guy too. And so my publishing company goes, we're going to turn you into the next Michael Bolton. What do you think of that? And you guys only know Michael Bolton for being like kind of the smarmy, when a man loves a woman.
His hairstyle.
Yes. Yeah. So back in the day, he used to be in a band called Blackjack, and he was a rocker. And him and I knew each other back in the day, and we wrote songs. We mainly just fucked off and just, he was super funny and outgoing and a total rocker guy. I mean, when I met him, he was doing Budweiser commercials, and so when they said we're going to turn you into the next Michael Bolton, I'm like, okay, which Michael Bolton are you talking about? But I was like, I'll do anything and everything to get ahead. I've been dropped twice now, and every time I read an interview about myself or saw some kind of a blurb, somebody talking about me, they would say, this kid doesn't know who he is, and we don't know how to, even the record companies, we don't know how to market this guy. And then Mike Varney goes, hey, you want to be in a band? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And he goes, you know anything about Billy Sheehan? And I go, I swear, I've seen him in the Yankee Rose video as a colorful guy, all kind of crazy costumes, running around. Not really, I don't know. And he goes, well, he's not with David Lee Roth anymore, and he's putting together a band, and he wants you to be a singer. I turned him on to one of your songs. I did a song with Neil Sean called I Can't Stop the Fire from a movie soundtrack. So he heard that, and Mike goes, okay, man, well, there you go. Billy's on the other line. He was notorious for doing that. And Billy was on the other line, and we talked, and him and I started Mr. Big,
Let's take a break there.
So happy.
Let's stop right there. We'll take a little break for our commercials, our sponsors there, and we'll come right back because this is what we want to hear the next phase of your life with Mr. Big. Is that okay?
It is the next, yeah. And I promise I'm going to let you guys get your questions in because
this is great, man. This is great.
This is your gig, brother. This is your gig.
I've answered like 10 questions in two questions. All right.
All right. We'll be right back.